Hello champions and happy Monday. Today's going to be a great day. Today we're going to solve division word problems to get more practice with two-digit division. By the end of the day, you're going to be an expert. I know you can do it, and so does Mr. Smiles. Let's get started. Before we get started today, take a moment to set a goal. Maybe today you want to get every problem right on Play Pause It. Maybe today you want to make sure you finish the video. Take a second to set a goal for today and to complete your multiplication tables. When you've done these two things, raise your hand so that I can come check. Now let's get started on our mixed review. Answer the questions. First, what's 252 times 15? Well, when I multiply 252 times 15, I start by multiplying 5 times 252, then 10 times 252. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 more is 26. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 more is 12. I'm finished with my 5. Now I drop my 0 because 1 is in the tens place. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. My last step is to add my partial products. 0, 8, 7, and 3. The correct answer is 3,780. Now let's try a 3 by 3 digit problem. Go ahead and try it. What's 137 times 285? Well, let's see how you did. 137 times 285. Remember that I could split this into 3 separate problems. 5 times 137, 80 times 137, and 200 times 137. Let's start with 5. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 3 more is 18. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 more is 6. Now I'm finished with my 5. 8 is in the tens place, so I'm going to drop a 0. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 5 more is 29. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. Now I'm finished with the 8. Now I'm going to drop 2 zeros because 2 is in the hundreds place. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. And 2 times 1 is 2. Now I need to add all 3 partial products. 5 plus 0 is 5. 8 plus 6 is 14. 1 plus 6 is 7. Plus 9 is 16. Plus 4 more is 20. 2 plus 7 is 9. And 1 plus 2 is 3. The answer is 39,045. Now let's try the division problem. 1,346 divided by 4. When I do this problem, 1,346 goes inside my division sign. I'm going to start my division in the hundreds place. 4 goes into 13 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract, and I have 1 left over. Bring down my 4 so that I can divide in the tens place. 4 goes into 14 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. I subtract, and I have 2 tens left over. Bring down my 6 so I can divide in the ones place. 4 goes into 26 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. When I subtract, I have a remainder of 2. The answer is 336 remainder 2. Now that we've done that, let's get started on our new material for today. Remember, division means splitting into equal groups. Go ahead and write that down. Anytime a word problem asks us to split a quantity into equal groups, we need to divide. Let's start by doing an example. A tour group has $5,280 to buy train tickets. Each ticket costs $32. How many train tickets can the group buy? This is a division problem because we need to see how many groups of $32 are inside of $5,280. We're going to split that 5,280 up into groups of 32. What's the dividend in my division problem? Remember, the dividend is the number I'm splitting up. The dividend is 5,280. What's the divisor? What will I be dividing by? I will be dividing by 32. Since I'm dividing by 32, I need to list my multiples of 32 by multiplying 32 times 1, 32 times 2, all the way to 32 times 9. Do that on your paper now. When you've finished, enter your answers in the computer. Check to see that you have the correct multiples of 32. Now let's solve our problem. 5,280 divided by 32. First, I need to decide what place value can I start dividing in. Which place value should I start dividing in? I should start dividing in the hundreds place, because 32 goes into 52. It doesn't go into 5,000s. I can't split 5,000s across groups of 32. How many times does 32 go into 52? 32 goes into 52 one time. I need to multiply to see how many hundreds I have. 1 times 32 is 32. Now I need to subtract. What's 52 minus 32? 52 minus 32 is 20. Bring down my 8. Now I need to divide in the tens place. How many times does 32 go into 208? It goes in 6 times without going over. What's 6 times 32? It's 192. What is 208 minus 192? Well, 8 minus 2 is 6. I would need to borrow. That would become a 1 and a 10. And 10 minus 9 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So, I have 16 tens left over. I bring down my 0 so I can divide in the ones place. How many times does 32 go into 160? It goes in 5 times. 5 times 32 is 160, and I have no remainder. So, when I divide 5,280 by 32, I get 165. That means that the group can purchase 165 tickets. Turn to the next page and let's try another example. A bakery needs to arrange 8,911 cupcakes on trays for a party. If each tray can hold 19 cupcakes, how many trays will the bakery need? Well, this is a division problem because the bakery is splitting the cupcakes into equal groups of 19. What's the dividend in this division problem? What's being split up? The dividend is 8,911. What's the divisor? What am I dividing by? I'm dividing those 8,911 cupcakes into groups of 19, and I need to see how many groups I can make. First, because I'm dividing by 19, let's list the multiples of 19. List the multiples of 19 on your paper. Then, enter them on your computer. Do that now. Check to make sure you've listed the multiples of 19 correctly. Now we can do our division problem. 8,911 divided into groups of 19. Let's start by determining which place we can start our division in. What place can I start dividing in? The first place I can divide in is the hundreds place. I can't take a group of 19 out of 8,000s. I can take a group of 19 out of 8,900s. How many groups of 19 can I take out of 8,900s? How many times does 19 go into 89? It goes in 4 times. What's 4 times 19? 4 times 19 is 76. I need to subtract to see how many hundreds I have left over. Well, 89 minus 76 is 13. I bring down the 1 so I can divide in the tens place. How many times does 19 go into 131? 19 goes into 131 6 times. 6 times 19 is 114. Now I need to subtract. What's 131 minus 114? Well, I can't subtract 1 minus 4. I need to borrow. I take one of my tens and break it apart into 11 ones. 11 minus 4 is 7. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. I bring down my 1 so that I can divide in the ones place. How many times does 19 go into 171? It goes in 9 times. What's 9 times 19? It's 171. So, I have no remainder. The answer to this division problem is 469. That means the bakery will need 469 trays of 19 cupcakes to hold all of the cupcakes. Now you try one. A farmer needs to ship 5,360 pumpkins to a grocery store. He is packing the pumpkins into crates. If each crate can hold 16 pumpkins, how many crates will the farmer need? This is a division problem because the farmer is splitting the pumpkins equally into crates. What's the dividend of this problem? The dividend is the 5,360 pumpkins. That's what's being split up. What's the divisor of this problem? The divisor is the 16 pumpkins in each crate. We're splitting the 5,360 pumpkins into groups of 16. Because we're dividing by 16, we need to list the multiples of 16. Go ahead and do that on your paper now. Check to make sure you've listed your multiples correctly. Now, you try the division problem. First, what place can I start dividing in when I'm dividing 5,360 by 16? I can start in the hundreds place. Go ahead and do the division. When you're finished, check your work with mine. The farmer needs 335 crates. You've done a great job with this video. Don't forget when you go to IXL Practice to list the multiples of your divisor. You're going to do an amazing job.